Hello, my friends, and welcome back. Thank you very much for being with me again today. This is a personal confession, and that is I always disliked weasels. I don't know who likes them, but I disliked weasels, people who acted like that, weak people, working behind the scenes or being fake and weak. This is a sign of very much weakness. I didn't have the same, and I don't have the same feeling for strong assholes. No, not at all. I see strength in someone as a quality that is developed. Weaselship is created because of impotence. You become a weasel because you're weak in areas and you don't, excel in other departments, so you have to make it somehow in this world by cheating, lying, and being a weasel, a coward. Whereas a strong person or entity had to, in a way or another, develop this quality of strength. Or some people, yes, are born strong and so on, but physically, not necessarily mentally. So I don't like, how should I put it, countries that act like weasels. United States of America is not a weasel country. Obviously, United States of America is a strong country and is a, how should I put it, it's a fantastic country. I love this country. I don't really like those guys over there that are in charge of this country, and I think they give a bad name of this nation on this planet. That's the only thing that I really, And I don't like when the United States behaves like weasels. I'm talking about the leaders, because the population around the world, people around the world would say, oh, America is doing this, America, and they will not see a difference between the government and the people. And to a certain extent, they are connected because the leaders in the United States are voted democratically. So that's the ones that the people wanted over there. So that means, they support them. And some of them do support the weasels in charge when they're weasels. So what happened here? As I said, the United States is a strong country and should not be a weasel. I don't like when the United States does all kind of hanky-panky and then he says, no, I didn't do that. I'm perfect. Now that's a weasel move. When you hear, hey, we were the victims here. The problem is this: they do not admit, or they don't have to admit, but they do not admit that they pushed the button over there. They might have done that, or they instigated that, or they did this. No, they're always the victims, and they're always the ones who are reacting in name of good. Isn't that strange? That, for instance, is not, let's say, Luxembourg reacting like that. It's always United States of America reacting. You see, I haven't heard about Luxembourg or Belgium. Belgium, had some other history in the past for a few short period of time. Leopold and all those guys in Africa, if you remember. But anyway, let's get a Switzerland or a small country. But I think Luxembourg would be a good one. I haven't heard them having, their national interests, threatened by any other country, and they're going to start a war against someone. It's always United States who is national interests and security concerns are of national importance and all that. And they always have to react and always attack. And I use always because you got to look around you. Look at the historical events. They have to intervene. Someone else is doing something bad to them, but not to Luxembourg somehow. Or other countries. It's United States. And United States is the strongest country in the world. It is, however you want to take it, militarily, economically, socially, however you put it, is the strongest. Because everybody else lacks something. Russia lacks a strong economy, it has a military. All the military, nuclear power and so on. China has a big economy, but it depends on other issues, and has a military, but not as strong as the other two. So they all lack, but the United States has both, all of them. But they always attacked, so they react. So they're always the victims, and I don't believe that, because people would not push buttons with the strongest guy in the parking lot. You push buttons with the guys that are smaller than you, that you can push around, smack around. But somehow everybody is challenging the United States everywhere on this planet, and the United States of America has to react. Now what happened? The Russians, now we find out, which I said it many, many times, a lot of things like this, I am 99.9% happened already, but we've not been told. The Russians shot at, that's the main point, at a drone, American drone, over Syria. Remember, the drone was in Syria because it had to be in Syria, an American drone. Not because it was over there illegally. No. We are the victims. We are the victims. The Russians down our drone over the Black Sea, close to Crimean Peninsula, that now is, however you want it, Russian. But hey, we were the victims. We. So what are we going to do? We have to react. Well, you're not going to react because these guys are not Yugoslavia, they're not Libya, they're not Iraq, they're not Afghanistan. These are big dogs, and you don't fight with the big dogs. The big dogs don't fight together. They try to fight the big dogs to the little dogs again. That shows, again, strength, courage, and power. Or coalitions that always are the, how should I put it? They exemplify courage. When you fight in a coalition against one enemy, that tells you that you are the courageous ones, and he is the coward. You remember? Okay, got that? All right, now things are like this. It's like a negation. Everything is upside down now, like in George Orwell's 1984. So what happened here? They report that the idiots, which is the Russians obviously, fired a missile at a US MQ-9 Reaper over Syria last year. When I say fired a missile at, I think, oh, so they missed. Oh, you know, those Russians are so stupid, they have such a clumsy equipment. Yeah, so basically last November, Russian forces operating a Pantsir S-1, garbage, man, not like our HIMARS or anything like that, air defense system fired on a US MQ-9 Reaper drone flying over eastern Syria. Yeah, because we are allowed to be in eastern Syria. Somehow we are. But did not succeed in shooting it down. All right? So that's what the Americans say. I don't know why they say it now. So first, they tell us here that the drone was legally flying over an independent country that is under occupation, it seems like, sovereign country of Syria. What is the Reaper drone doing over there? I don't know, but since we're the good country, I think we are entitled. And then obviously they missed. The Russian missed. Well, you can read the whole article. Here they show you Syria. The yellow thing is where the Americans somehow are located right here, where they have the oil and all that. And this is under the Syrian Kurds and aligned forces right here. This is the sovereign country of Syria, right? Which is, you know, all kind of countries that were not supposed to be over there, which actually are two here. It's Turkey. Has nothing to do over there. I don't even remember them being invited by the legitimate government of Syria, and obviously United States. But Russia was invited and Iran was invited by the legitimate government of Assad in Damascus. All right? Otherwise, these guys are illegally, not the Kurds. With the Kurds, they have to figure things out, not militarily, because it's a problem over there. And it's not up to me, it's up to the Syrians and the Kurds to figure things out, not Turks, Russians, Iranians, or Americans. But anyway, it is what it is right here. We have these guys as well here. So they tell us about that, what happened, and how they shot, and they missed because they have rusty, stupid equipment, including, they talk about here, Russian Sukhoi 35 violating coalition's airspace over Syria. What is the coalition airspace? Well, you know, the United States just dropped over there and says, okay, we're going to land here. And this is our land. We're gonna talk about it. How did you land there? It's a sovereign country. Did you ask Assad? No, we don't have to. We just land and we violate country sovereignty, but we can't allow Russia to violate it. So we're either you know, honest, or we're just weasels. We're weasels. I mean, if it was wrong for the Russians to do what they did, Why is it for you okay to go over there and do the same thing? Even worse, because you landed somewhere just, that's it, on someone's country. What is that? And the country doesn't even dare to attack you. Anyway, here they talk about the Black Sea drone that was downed by the Russians. My point is here. One, I'm pretty sure even worse things happen between the Russians and Americans, but we're not supposed to know. If we're going to know about it, we're going to know that the Russians lost. Necessarily, that's by default. The Americans prevailed, which, again, that's Hollywood movies. Why? Because you can't really always win. And I don't think the Americans will always win or we have a high rate of winning against the Russians or the Chinese or someone who can really punch you back in the face. You know, yeah, maybe you can always win against, I don't know, Romania or, I don't know, Luxembourg or something like that. But I don't think against these guys. These guys can punch in the face. That's why you kind of respect that anyway. So they attacked it with the Pantsir. Obviously, that's garbage. They missed. And what happened? I can tell you what happened. They sent a drone in a Crimean Peninsula, and it was downed. And the Americans stopped sending drones. They're sending like 200 kilometers away from the Crimean Peninsula, which is the airspace of Romania and the other weasel countries over there, Bulgaria and so on. All right, so that tells me they got the hint. Because the Russians said, okay, this is the red line, you crossed it, we're going to pick you up. So the other one, what happened in Syria, I personally don't think the Russians missed. They might have been a warning shot. That's how I take it. Why? I don't think a Reaper drone that flies at a very, very low speed cannot be hit by Pantsir. It's impossible. I don't know, it's like I have a sniper rifle and it's a guy with a motorcycle driving 20 miles per hour, about 100 or 150 yards from me. Do you think I will not take? I will take him in the ear if I want. I take him in his boobs. Wherever I want, I can get him. All right, so that's why I think that drone, they just missed the Pantsir. I don't believe that. The fact is, I think that the Russians just that was a get up, go off, or we're gonna shoot you, move away, like a you know, as I said, warning. And I think they did, in my assessment. Or maybe they even shot it down, and these guys are telling us that they didn't. I don't know. I don't think. Let's put it this way: warning shot. I give it I give it 98% chance. Right, that it was a warning shot. How much do I think it was a miss? Maybe 7%, 6%, something like that. Okay. And how much do I think it was a hit? Maybe about 5%, 10% maybe. Even more than the miss. The miss would be the lowest, that's for sure. I don't believe that was a miss. Not intentional, like, let's do it. Oh, we missed. God damn it, Ivan. Smacked too much vodka last night. Oh, I'm sorry. I don't think that was the case. Thank you very much for being with me again today. Stay strong, stay smart, look for the truth, and be just.